Wonderful times are coming, and I'm here to tell you about them. Today is a good day. It's your favorite astrology podcast, Mars Day with Mark. Today, we're going to cover the astrology of the week, starting with July 23rd and ending on July 30th. So it's summertime. I'm about to break it on down for you guys. I hope you enjoy this video sincerely. And if you do, please consider leaving a like. I appreciate all the love and the support on my last video. So hopefully you guys really do enjoy this one. So there is a decent amount to report. I intend to keep this video short, sweet, and simple so we can really have an interactive experience with this solar system, okay? First thing I'm going to do is show you the chart today, the degree breakdown, and then we're going to look at where the chart ends on the 30th, next Tuesday. And then we'll really go piece by piece, bit by bit, each placement, see what's moving, what's changing, and kind of how the week is going to play out day by day. Okay. So today, first thing I want to bring your attention to is the planets. Today is the first degree of Leo. That means the sun is at 1 Leo. It's technically the second day of Leo. So get excited for all my Leos like myself, man. It's really a great time to shine your light so bright. Have an amazing day and month. Right now, the moon is in Pisces, waning. So we just broke our full moon in Capricorn last week. That was really cool. And that was fucking intense, guys. Part of my French, guys. The moon in Capricorn shifted our foundations, and that moon was also conjunct Pluto. So deep ass release. And if you want to get the retrospective analysis of the week before, definitely check that out. But last week was kind of an intense week with that full moon and with the sun opposing Pluto all week. So it looks like we've got a new fresh energy. This is like a energetic rebirth this week. So I hope everybody's feeling lit and charged up and full of power and energy. So we've got the moon waning all week. We've got Mercury at the almost the final degree of Leo, 28 degrees. We've got Venus at 14 degrees today, Leo as well. Mars is at 2 degrees of Gemini. So this is fresh and new, and we're going to talk about it. We've got Jupiter at 12 degrees of Gem. We've got Saturn retrograde at 18 Pisces. Uranus is in Taurus still at 26 degrees. Neptune is still retrograde at 29 Pisces. Pluto is still retrograde at 0 degrees of Aquarius. And we've got the North Node, Chiron, and Eris in Aries. And that's 10 degrees, 23 degrees, and 25 degrees, respectively. And respectfully, yeah. And we've also got the South Node in Libra at 10 degrees, disrespectfully. And we've got Lilith at 2 degrees of Libra. Yeah, that's what it is. And then 1 week from now, on the 30th, guys, this is where we end up. The sun will be at 8 degrees of Leo. That's about 1 degree every day. The moon will still be waning, but we're going to break the quarter moon phase this week around Friday or Saturday. Saturday. And we've got Mercury moving into Virgo. 2 degrees is where we end off. Venus is going to be at 23 Leo. We've got Mars moving up to 6 Gemini. Jupiter moves to 14. Saturn doesn't really move at all, to be honest. We're at 18 degrees Pisces. Uranus is barely going to move at all. 26 Taurus. Neptune is basically stationary. Pluto's basically stationary, even though they're still retrograde. And you got the nodes moving back a degree. Lilith moves up one. And then apart from that, guys, what the heck? Chiron just went retrograde. Oh my goodness. Oh my damn. Oh my goodness, they going ham. This is something something to look into, something to talk about. All right, let's run this shit back, man. Let's take it a day at a time, placement at a time. Because really what that says, guys, is as far as ingress, aspect, major action, here's the highlights of the week, guys. We've got the waning square with the moon. So that's going to be the last quarter phase. This is a week of release. But also, we've got the sun stepping out on the scene in Leo. So let's not forget about that, guys. Leo energy is in full effect. It's really time to embrace the self. the archetype of personality, and just have fucking fun. Express yourself, do something creative. And in addition to those aspects, what we got? We got Mercury moving into Virgo. That's pretty cool. And we've got Venus applying to Uranus in a square. That's really going to be more for next week. And then we've got the Chiron retrograde. All right. So that's really the major highlights. And let's just talk about it bit by bit. So Leo is the current energy, the current archetype, guys. And what's really important to know about Leo's planetary ruler is that is the sun. So the next 29 days is really going to be about embracing the sun. And it's going to be a more warm and exciting and fun time for everybody on the earth. You know you're fucking up in Leo season if you're not having fun, or if you're playing small, or if you are so much more concerned with other people's opinions and emotions and advice than your own. Leo is all about you. Okay. So by truly living your life, expressing yourself honestly, just doing what you want to do, you can actually enrich this world by adding depth and complexity to it, man. This really says that you're special. And if no one told you so far, I'm sorry to say that. But yeah, you intrinsically matter. You make a difference in this world. And, you're a hero. There's a lot of Leo energy in the sky right now, guys. And this is the archetype of creative self actualization. So, the whole lesson the universe is teaching us right now and will continue to teach us is that you create your life. Life unfolds the way you describe it, the way you perceive it, the way that you act. It's very important. So, the word I get above everything else, guys, is intention. Are you being intentional with everything in your life? And this is a little bit more deep, guys. Like thinking about the week we just ended off and where we're starting. We just had the full moon in Capricorn, like I was talking about, full moon conjunct Pluto. And that just says that there is a deep emotional release in everybody's fourth house, their family life, their private life, their personal life. And I think because especially with the Leo energy, the common denominator of what has to be released is, confusion, ambivalence, a lack of direction. So once again, flip it. It's all about being intentional. Bottom line, period. It's like, why are you doing what you're doing? What's the point? What's the reason? And it's also worth noting that Jupiter exalts in the sign of Leo because intention is everything, because reason is everything. Okay. So I'm gonna say one more time, be intentional. Mirage says, be intentional. That was the confirmation cat. I don't know if it picked up on the mic. If you want all the attention, just say that. And that's what Leo is about, guys. Leo is a need for attention. It's a need to feel special, to be seen. So let this be your sign to express yourself. Take up those creative endeavors, those hobbies, post your content, sing, dance, paint, graphic design, do whatever you want. And also, Leo is the archetype of kids too. Can't forget that, man, because kids are something we personally create. So they fall into our fifth house. So this is a fun time. A lot of people are going to be having kids during the Leo season or conceiving their kids, and that's going to make their kids a fucking isn't that okay? So Cancer, they're gonna be like Taurus children. Either way that goes, man, it's about nurturing your brain children, all your creative endeavors. And, Leo talks about love and romance as well. So there is going to be a key theme this month about just having a great time, romanticizing your life, or being able to actually share love with people that you consider beautiful or special in your life as well. So that's really cool. As far as the moon goes this week, guys, it is a waning week. So that just means we are going to be releasing, we are going to be letting go. We're going to be allowing things to slide out of our life that don't fit or hit the mold the way that we wish them to. Okay. And in context of the sun, guys, this is a character development month, but especially the week. So, what parts of yourself, what identities do you need to let go of? And that's kind of the theme of the start, guys, with the sun still loosely opposite Pluto. It's deeper vision or deeper definition when it comes to our vision. Damn, that shit rhymed kind of. So, what are we doing with our life? I'm reminding you once again, you are the storyteller, you are the author, the script writer, but also the main character and the actor of your own play. So, make sure that shit doesn't suck. Okay? You know, it's your story, you tell it beautifully. Life does really unfold according to words, perceptions, and actions. So, just be deliberate. Be deliberate. And the moon and the sun, these are our two luminaries. One lights up the night, one lights up the day. I'll let you guess which is which. And you can really see that these are the internal and the external parts of the self. I might give you a hint, man. The sun is the external part, the moon is the internal part. You know, so it's asking us, guys, are we really connected with ourselves? And for some people, I think hearing the question, they're like, that's a stupid question. I'm always going to be connected to myself. I'm always going to be myself. And this is what I mean, guys. Are we playing a role? Are we indulging in a persona or a personality that reflects us or doesn't reflect us? The word is authenticity, it's integrity. You know, Leo rules the spine and the heart. So your backbone, are you true to who you are? Like I said, guys, you're going to know you did this season wrong if your main concern is appeasing and pleasing everybody else, man, because Leo is really about you. Okay. And by putting you first, by prioritizing your wants and needs, by fulfilling yourself, living your best life, others actually serve to benefit from you more by being a more enriched, complete, and beautiful version of yourself. Oh, yes, indeed. So this is beautiful shit. I love it. All right. And as far as the other planets go, you know, we start out with Mercury Leo. We will move into Virgo, but just know that Mercury Leo has us thinking about ourselves. It's the planet of communication and intellect, and it's the sign of self once again. So you'll see that communication is more bold and dramatic and theatrical and played out right now. And it's all personal. Everything is about the self, everything's about me. And this is once again the storyteller. So enjoy that, guys. Have fun embracing your vision, adding great detail, adding more color to your life, beautifying your life, reflecting the environment with things that reflect you. I could say putting things in the environment that reflect you. And this really is going to help us segue into the Mars and Gemini conversation, because when it comes to Venus, really the basic gist of this one, guys, is just to love yourself, truly. And this will be a theme for the whole entire week. Loving ourselves, embracing ourselves, asking ourselves, really, what is it that we need? Beyond need, what is it that you want to experience? That's really the secret of Venus and Leo. And don't wait for other people to make you feel special. Consider yourself blessed if people in your life do take the time to care for you and love you and show you they appreciate you, guys. But you cannot wait with Venus and Leo for anybody outside of you to fulfill your wants or needs. That's fucking up. Okay. I'm telling you guys, relationships are one of the most beautiful things in the world, but you'll find that you can only connect to others as deep as you connect to yourself. Okay. And if there's parts of you that you neglect, that you don't see, that you don't love or nurture, you will inadvertently want this nurtured outside of yourself. All right. But therefore, you will not be able to reciprocate this energy within other people, with other people in relationships. And that will lead to relationships that are either completely self serving, completely unbalanced, you know, toxic, full of jealousy and possession, all types of fucked up shit, guys. That conditional love that hurts us so fucking much. I mean, dude, if I had the crowd in front of me, I could say, show of hands, who here has been hurt by conditional love? Probably most of us. So I'm just giving the warning now, guys, that this is the prime energy for us to seek full expression within our love lives and within our value system and really just live life enriched. But if you neglect you guys, we are highly likely to damage other people through our need for being seen. getting attention, things like that. So don't do that, man. Hurt people, heal people, heal people. All right. And moving forward, I just want to say, guys, Venus will move into the square with Uranus at the end of the week. It's really going to be a theme for next week, but just understand that, this self love journey is going to accelerate, and anything that's holding us back from it is going to have to be addressed. Anything that's interrupting the flow of honesty or truth within any relationship, even the one with the self, this is going to be forced up to the surface next week when Uranus goes square to Venus, or vice versa. Actually, Venus will go square to Uranus. Okay. But also, let's talk about Mars and Gemini, because this is pretty new. And this is an energy we need to discuss, we need to talk about, because Mars is masculine energy, Venus is more so the feminine. So Mars will show us the direction of our energy, how we move around the environment, how we aim at our goals. It'll show us our desires, our motivations. But also, a key distinction for Mars' transit is that Mars removes and severs and cuts things out of our life. Okay. So you'll realize that wherever Mars is transiting, there is a need to simplify and to reduce. Okay. And Gemini is a lot of things. But the most important thing you need to understand is it's our mind and our environment. Gemini is the power of perception. So the first thing Mars and Gemini needs you to do, guys, is clean your damn room. For real. Get rid of all the fucking clutter. Get rid of all the bullshit, and make sure that you aren't living in an environment that's needlessly restricted and cluttered and disorganized. Because if that's the case, your mind is going to be disorganized and cluttered and full of crap. Okay. As above, so below, so within, so without. Your environment's a reflection of the mind, guys. So Mars and Gemini, before anything else, is telling us to program the environment. Okay. Because this is going to add an intensity and a speed to the way that we perceive life and the way that we think. Okay. And Jupiter is already in Gemini, guys. So this is just going to say that the mind is fast and active. Curiosities are high. So it's going to be, once again, important to simplify. You feel me? That's that shit. Okay. It's also worth noting, slow down in communication and driving. Okay. Because Gemini is how we get around, guys. And there's no need to be speeding or driving recklessly and endangering your own life and other people's lives. So slow the fuck down. Plan more time. Leave earlier if you have to, but don't be sitting there a reckless driver and causing unnecessary problems to your life or others, man. Budget and think about your schedule. That's really what I got from Mars Gemini. I guess we'll go back to it later if we need to, but that's really the gist of it. Jupiter is in Gemini, and Jupiter is moving closer to a square with Saturn, and that's really a interesting theme. But just understand, Jupiter is the teacher planet. It's the philosophy planet. It governs luck, expansion, blessings, all types of good things. And Jupiter is teaching us through our minds right now, guys, through Gemini. So on one level, this does really make everybody more curious and more ready to explore and investigate and learn and teach and be involved. But on the other note, this will make people a little bit more confused. That excessive curiosity will lead to conundrum, paradox, finding multiple right or wrong answers. This search for knowledge can also manifest as an existential crisis, guys, at its very worst. And if that's the case, it's just worth a reminder that as a part of the machinery of the universe, it is impossible to view the whole machine. So don't expect yourself to have everything figured out. Life wouldn't be a test if you had all the answers. Okay. So that's just worth thinking about. Jupiter is, accelerating our minds. It's worth looking at your chart, guys, figuring out what house Jupiter is expanding, because that's going to show you directly the part of your life that's receiving this energy. Because if you were a Scorpio rising, like this chart suggests, Jupiter would be transiting your seventh house, and it would talk about, meeting new people or having relationship lessons come in. Or if it was in your 10th, that would be expanding your business or, your goals. Or if it was the first, you might be expanding and putting on some pounds or whatever. So it's worth looking at the area of life that you're going to find this in. Okay. In addition, we have Saturn in Pisces, and Saturn in Pisces is a bit of a longer transit. Let's keep in mind this planet is retrograde. Mirage, don't get in front of the screen. Mirage wants to say hi, but I need to see the screen, baby. Okay, we got the co-host here today, guys. The Queen. All right, so what does Saturn Pisces really mean? Life is but a dream. All right, so row your fucking boat, dude. Oh man, Saturn Pisces energy. Saturn retrograde is really a cycle of restructuring, revisiting, organizing, and rebuilding. You may have to revisit things from the past that didn't work and kind of set them back up now, or, just take time to consolidate the projects in your life. In other words, simplify once again. Saturn in its retrograde position really asks us to consider, what is it that I'm really responsible for? What's my actual job? What's my actual role? Fuck the bullshit. Let's just take care of our priorities. Make sure we're not being negligent. Make sure we're not leaving things behind for other people to take care of when it's really our job. Okay. And we'll talk about this over the month, guys. I've been kind of foreshadowing this for a little bit, but yeah, Jupiter and Saturn are going to be square this month. And I'm going to show you this is the 30th next week. We'll be at 14 Jupiter and 18 Saturn. And then the next week, it'll be 15. And then it'll be 16. And then, Saturn even moves back a little bit. But at the next week, the 20th after that, so we're getting like weeks in advance, we'll have that exact perfect square. So I said basically a month is what it's going to take. But we'll feel this pressure building and build. And really, there's a lot of ways to see Jupiter square Saturn. This is a really important transit, guys, and we're going to have some time to experience it. So I'm just going to kind of step it in now so everybody knows basically what's going to happen. On one level, think about it this way, guys. When you have a square aspect, that's of course a 90-degree angle, and it really combines both of the planets in the energetic, okay? And because both of the planets are coming in through the same mode, in this case, the signs are both mutable, but they have different elements. In this case, we've got air versus water. You've basically got a clash. All right. There's a lesson. There's going to need to be an integration happening, because it's like if you were trying to kiss somebody, but y'all both went like in the same direction, and then you hit your heads together. It's like you have to kind of collaborate. You have to organize. You got to make sure that there's an agreement, and maybe you both like going in that same direction. You hit each other's head. I don't know if that was the best example, but basically the idea, something's got to change. Something has to give, because you've got Jupiter wanting to, teach us and learn and be involved and to keep expanding the mind, but you got Saturn who wants to restrict emotionally, spiritually, even when it comes to our imagination. Okay. So I would just say that the gist of this is that, growth could be accelerated. That's Jupiter accelerating growth, the structure, that's Saturn. You could also see restrictions amplifying. That's the exact opposite. I think the real gist of this is that we want to deepen our connection with spirituality, strengthen it even, and also to understand the meaning of our restrictions. Okay. The most sad thing about this one, guys, is that, this can put a damper on our faith, a damper on our optimism. So you may notice that worry, fear, nervousness, this can really take us away from the luck that we have. So I know that we are living through some pretty uncertain times in history, and these transits don't necessarily help with, Uranus and Taurus, and, the Mercury retro pre-shadow, and, just the historical events, guys. Like, there is an air of uncertainty. There is even an air of confusion in the collective right now. So it's just important that you find ways to ground yourself and simplify and consolidate once again so you don't get too pulled into the fear, pulled into the negativity, or, you know, become the enemy, start to fall short of responsibilities or do yourself and your cause a disservice by really falling into the negativity once again, feeding the fear, etc. Okay. I think rapid growth and expansion is another thing that's going to come for a lot of people when it comes to Jupiter square Saturn. I mean, this could look like forced growth, forced expansion as well, like needing to really accelerate your life because of necessity. Okay. Exalted into leadership positions is another way that this is going to look like for some people. I mean, this is the funny thing about this angle, guys, is that you've got two planets which are basically opposite. Jupiter being expansion, Saturn being contraction, but they're coming in at a hard angle. So, like I said, polarity is probably going to kick in on every which angle because some people are going to gain authority during this time. Some people are going to fucking lose it because they don't deserve it. Okay. So I just kind of feel like Saturn square Jupiter is also a forced restriction slash consolidation. And that sometimes actually helps us build. Sometimes that will be an expansive force when things are overextended, need to be reintegrated. Sometimes that's actually best for integrity. Mirage says, I don't give a fuck about Saturn, Jupiter square. I'm going to get the hell out of here. She said, you're boring the hell out of me, bro. Leave it for next month. Just letting y'all know that shit is coming. It's gonna be great. Apart from that, guys, let me just kind of show you that you've got Saturn in Pisces still. And I think the message here, beyond the angle and the square, guys, is that yes, you can build your dreams. Life is a dream, but you could actually take your imagination and make it physical. If you really had the faith, the belief, and the want to do it, and you let time work on your behalf, you could actually experience your dream life in this life. But there's no fucking way you're going to do that if you don't believe. Okay. If you don't have faith in life, if you don't have faith in yourself, if you don't believe that a higher power exists and could really support you, or even if you don't want to be that woo woo or out there, man, if you don't even think that the mechanics of the universe support it, you won't do it. Okay, so what do you believe, guys? Saturn is asking us to make that shit make sense. Does it serve you in reality? If your beliefs don't serve you in reality, fuck them. Okay. For some people, Saturn Pisces actually means losing their religion. And even for those that aren't religious, asking, do your real beliefs, your paradigms, the things you choose to take on faith and conviction, does that actually make sense to you? Does it actually support your growth? Because if it's not supporting you, man, maybe consider choosing to believe something else. Because your life is unfolding according to what you believe. Belief isn't the only factor, of course, guys, but it plays a huge role in the way that we interact with the world and even see the world. And this is the message of Saturn Pisces, guys. And this has deeper implications and ramifications when it comes to, the way that we serve our society and interact with others and what is considered good and right and fair and moral and evil and how do we sacrifice, what's the meaning of life, what's the best way to be, blah 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 blah. This is shit can get mad existential when it comes to Saturn and Pisces. And with Jupiter up here in the mix and Mars here in the mix, I could talk about it all day, but I feel like we've already got a pretty good view of this shit. Okay. In addition, guys, we've got Uranus in Taurus all week. It'll be in Taurus all next week and the week after that and the week after that and the week after that and guess what? The week after that as well. So basically, Uranus in Taurus is a bunch of bullshit. Um, Fuck, man. I'm not even trying to be negative. It's not as bullshit as Mars in Taurus. Thank fuck that is over. Did you guys like Mars in Taurus? Because that shit was rough, man. I'm so grateful for Mars in Gemini. Mars and Taurus is like when you're driving on the highway and everything is stopped up and you're in a line of cars like 40 long. And then after like 30 minutes, you finally get to going. And as you're fucking going, you look and there's just one Subaru holding up the whole thing, just driving like 40 miles under the speed limit. And it's like an old dude with glasses, and you have to just wait and there's nothing you can do. And everybody wants him to move, but he's just like gripping the wheel for life. He just trying to get to bingo or some shit. And it's like, bro, you need a bus pass. And he's like, I can drive. And I'm like, dude, that's Mars and Taurus. It's just like slow down, setbacks, just frustration and shit. So I just feel like, things are going to pick up speed this week, guys. And we should see more forward momentum, even though we are in a waning week with the moon and letting go of energy. This is going to be a little bit more easy to maneuver with Mars and Gemini. But also with Mars and Gemini, guys, there is going to be that increased desire to speed up, to interact faster, to be more direct, to get around, to travel, to move around. And it's like, this same energy is going to say that, like, boredom can strike and you just are tired of being where you are and you want to go hit the mall, or you want to go to the park, or you want to go just out, and that's great. I'm just saying, once again, just be safe, keep your wits about you, drive defensively. And another thing about Mars and Gemini, I want to add this into here, guys, is that this adds a passion and a fire and an intensity to the way that we communicate. And it's not always what you're saying, it's how you say what you're saying that really makes a world of a difference. Like, where's my cat? It doesn't matter where my cat is. I love you, Mirage. Versus, I love you, Mirage. What feels better? Like that last one, that'll make your cat fold her ears back. You feel me? So you get more flies with honey than vinegar, and you get more honeys being fly. Oh my. So consider the way that you communicate and see if anything needs to change, or maybe if there's better ways to express what you're saying. Mars and Gemini could be a good time to learn sign language or pick up another language, or just start reading a fuck ton of books and writing a lot. And I do need you to remember this, because somebody already forgot. You guys so wrapped up in the podcast, man, you forgot to clean your damn room, and that should be filthy. And that's why your life sucks. And that's why you wake up depressed or don't even want to wake up, because the environment is just full of clutter and negative, depressed ass energy. So remove that shit and go into your closet and throw that fucking thing away. Not the closet, but that fucking thing. And you know what I'm talking about, because you've had it for too many years. And you don't even like the person who gave it to you. So get the fuck rid of it. You hear me? I say it because I care. I'm not trying to flame your ass. I know Mr. Meyer did that, but hey, it's for your behalf. It's for your better good. Everything is energy. So it's all about addition by subtraction. Remove that, cut that shit out, incinerate it, burn it. Give no fucks. And yeah, Mars and Gemini also kind of says, like, some of us may need to send some aggressive messages, or have the feeling that we want to, and maybe consider writing it down and burning it and letting the universe just take it. And I can't tell you how to live your life, of course. Some people already cussed people out the first day Mars went into Gemini, because they didn't get the message. But ultimately it's your life, and the universe is all serving a purpose, everything we're doing. So hope you guys are having fun, guys. That's really the most important thing to recognize, is that, life is transient. All joys long for eternity. And even after your glory years and days, on your deathbed, after a life well lived, this is just a drop in the bucket in terms of existence, of infinity. So, like, welcome to the eternal now. Welcome to your life, and really enjoy this to the fullest. You may not be living the exact life that you want. You might not have all the bells and whistles and experiences that you dream of, but know that it can come for you. It can come to you if you really wish, believe, and act accordingly. But don't let that distance between your physical and your imagination make you stop enjoying your life. Okay, guys? I hope you see me as, I mean, if you're driving or like not watching this, it's okay if you don't see it, but I hope you hear this shit. Like, life is special. Life is a gift. How good does it feel to be alive? Guys, it's easy not to appreciate your life whenever you've been kind of going through the mundane or the material or the routine or the common for so fucking long. And sometimes, having things removed from us really does help us recognize what we have. You guys know they say you don't know what you got till it's gone. And me personally, with that Pluto Sun opposition of last week, I really had some existential crises. And I just thought about, what if I had to go now? I do bitch and complain, and there are things that I don't like about my life or life in general. But when I entertain the idea of having to go right now, I'm like, no, dude, I like living, and living is fucking beautiful. And I'm going to do this as long as I can in this form. I don't want to cling on to my ego for dear life because I know I'm bigger than it. But at the same time, like, what a gift to be able to live. That's a beautiful thing. And speaking of ego, I guess we can reel it back for a second and talk about the last couple planets, and then we'll start moving day by day through this podcast, okay, guys? Leo refers to the ego. I think we talked about this briefly, but just understand, guys, ego is really the same thing as self-concept or identity. It's the shell for the spirit, all right? So while this is a overriding and very significant part of our life, it's not the only part, guys. Think about what the sun actually is, guys. The sun is the biggest ball of light, of gas in our solar system. It's so big that all the planets in our solar system revolve around it. And that's actually the point of a solar system. If you look at any other star in the sky, most of them have planets around them, and the star is the center of the solar system. Okay, guys? And similarly, your ego is the fixed pillar of the personal realm where everything circulates and revolves. So, in that same way, you could also say that your sun reflects your character. It reflects your identity. It reflects the way that you perceive yourself. It's all acts of creation. And even the first one being creative self actualization. Like, who the fuck am I? Who am I? You know, I'm just a guy. That's what Leo is about. You know, I'm just a guy. I'm just a girl. I'm just an NB. I choose not to identify as anything. Whoever the fuck you want to identify as. That's what this is about. Okay. So the role, the character, the play, allow yourself to change, guys. You are the hero in your story. And you don't always win, guys. Like Aragon did. I don't even ever think I've seen Aragon more than like once or twice and a long time ago. Aragon doesn't always beat the dragon. If I'm fucking up the plot, let me know. But does he always beat the dragon? You get the idea. You're not always gonna hit a home run every time you swing the bat. But just because you miss a couple times, that doesn't mean you're the victim of life. Okay. Or just because the pitcher hits you with the ball on accident or on purpose because he was a dickhead with Mars and Gemini doesn't mean that you're a victim of your own life. All right, guys. Once again, everything serves a higher purpose. So that's just really my key I'm trying to extend to somebody. And sometimes I watch these videos retroactively and I'm like hearing a message I needed to hear a week in advance. And I'm like, whoa, ooh, whoa. All right. So give yourself permission to change, allow yourself to reframe your identity and get in the freaking habit, not just the habit, the freaking habit. Like Kurt Angle, he said, I didn't just break my neck, I broke my freaking neck. I'm sorry. So at the point, but the freaking habit of defining yourself. And I say this because if you don't define yourself, chances are you'll pick up a definition from the environment or from society or from people close to you, like your friends or your family or your associates. And if you don't get in the habit of telling you who you are, the world will tell you who you are. And it might not be right. It might not make a role for you that you wanted. Imagine you were in drama class and like they were handing out the roles and they picked the new script and they're like, I want to be Sailor Bob. And you're like, no, I want to be Sailor Bob. And then it's like, maybe these motherfuckers be arguing about it. You wanted the whole time. If you would have just asked, they would have put your name in the hat. You could have drawn for it. But now you got to be the janitor on the boat. And the janitor has one line. And we love the janitor, all the parts serve, but it's like maybe you wanted a bigger speaking part. So I'm telling you guys, the real secret here is you are who you say you are. Life corresponds according to your perceptions. This is your world, your reality. And it's kind of interesting to say that, like, if you pulled up to the gas station and the crackhead wanted to like wash your windows or whatever at Circle K and he's like mumbling and he's quacked out or whatever, it's like you can't tell that dude he's not Donald Trump or some shit like that. You can't tell that dude he's not a spaceman. whatever the fuck he tells you he is, you know. Sometime I'm sure y'all have met that dude at the gas station before where he like starts telling he like comes up asking you for a dollar, you don't have a dollar, you don't want to give him a dollar or whatever, you say no, and then he just starts to tell you his story about how he used to be in the Secret Service, and then it's like shit got fucked up and then they sabotaged him and now he's running and now he's on the street, and it's like you can't tell the dude he wasn't in the Secret Service. You can look at him and be like, dude, there's no fucking way they let your ass in the Secret Service. You know what I mean? Is that type of energy. But the point is, guys, for him, for practical intents and purposes, that guy is that guy. All right, gang. So, like, you can translate this into your life. You know, it doesn't matter if you're broke as a joke or you have no friends or nobody really wants to give you the time of the day or indulge in a relationship with you. It's like, who are you? You can say, I'm a powerful person. I'm a successful person. I'm full of love. I'm attractive and everybody likes me, you know? And it may take time for the law of attraction and correspondence for you to really bridge the gap between identity and reality. But I'm telling you guys, that's literally the secret. And I think a lot of us can attest to this, that we've gotten damn near everything we want through this same method of integration, whether it was consciously or unconsciously. It all starts from imagination. And that's kind of funny because I've been kind of talking on this conversation, but wanting to go to Neptune. And this is actually really interesting, guys. Neptune, or Pisces, I should say, and Leo make an in conjunction. So, one of the most interesting things about Leo energy is that this does reflect our ability to create. And creation is a product of divinity, of the universe. So, sometimes the line between who am I and who is everything can get kind of blurry. All right. And this is where you get in the concept of people trying to be too egotistical or assuming that they have more power than they do, or even trying to play God necessarily. But, and, this is where you can get really lost in the language as well on this conversation, because on some level, we all are God and divinity. But the definition that most people give God is that it is the whole in itself. But if you are a separate part of the whole, you don't technically get to become the whole, even if you are the whole, which is just a trip, you know? So a lot of people like just feel lonely or unseen. And I mean, like, this is a really crazy thing to say, but doesn't matter where your sun's, it does matter where your sun is, but like across the board, any sun sign, any moon sign combination, all fucking people really do long for unity. They long to go home. And there is a fundamental part of the human spirit that wishes to be connected with all that is. Okay. And you can see this through religious drives, impulses. You can see this through escapism, bad habits, addiction. Everybody is just trying to get home on some level. You know, we're all on the same highway. We might get off at different exits, but we all are in the same journey, same realm, same reality. And, you know, we all got the same parts in our box, even if they're, you know, different pictures on the box or different purposes for the parts and design of the box, etc. You guys should maybe get the picture I'm portraying. And that picture has even more words than pictures within it. It's like a puzzle box, but you know, Leo is about creativity, guys. And this says a lot about how we imagine and how we are able to build through our inner vision. Creativity is a result of acting on our inner vision, okay? Or just acting in general if you're not really focused on what you're seeing. But either way that goes, guys, let's talk about Neptune for a second, because this is really key for understanding the energies right now. Neptune is an outer planet, and it's also going retrograde. The latter, I said, the retrograde, this really reflects relieving ourselves of illusions, moving past deception or confusion, getting things more organized on a philosophical, spiritual level, guys, because Neptune is imagination. But I want to also illustrate that with this planet moving so far away from the sun, it'll take about 150 years, give or take, to make an orbit. All right. And that just means that it's very slow. This is a cultural influence, and the sign of Neptune will really show the dream that we wish to manifest as a collective. All right. And the vision with Neptune and Pisces is a dream of bliss, transcendence, and unattainable beauty. Okay, guys? And Neptune and Pisces, I mean, we've been seeing this for at least 10 years now, guys. But let's speak about it. Like, for the last 10 years, have we not noticed how fucked up social media has a lot of people's heads? how comparing ourselves to people on the internet makes us feel inadequate, how we can, and then we only want to show the highlight reel. We only want to show ourselves winning, so it's like a lot of times people just assume that their life is mundane or not special or not important or that they suck because they're not living up to what's being shown to them in the media. And the algorithm works. It's a conscious entity built out of our technology, aka what we interact with the most is what's pushed. So good, bad, ugly, or beautiful, whatever we indulge in and interact with is going to be pushed to other people. And we like to see people win or even like to see controversy sometimes. So it's like you got to be careful what you see in the media with this Neptune and Pisces energy because that shit does influence us. And a lot of us already fucking know the media lies to us. When we talk about actual news, quote unquote news, or media companies, or just the way that we're fed information as a public, yeah, a lot of times this shit is heavily biased. And it's not that they're selling you they're not even just giving you the information. They give you the information while selling you an agenda. All right. So just important, very fucking important in the age of Pluto Aquarius that you learn to think for yourself. A mind that can't think for itself is absolutely useless. So learn to ask better questions. And that's not an insult to anybody's intelligence. This is actually just the collective responsibility that we're being given, guys. All right. Pluto is a little bit further than Neptune, and it reflects and represents evolution. All right. And some people in consensus reality will debate endlessly whether or not evolution exists. I encourage you to just open your eyes to the fact that it does, that the strong survive and the weak get dominated and phased out. And this is how it works in nature, and that's how it works in human nature. And this is how it works in technology. This is how it works everywhere in life. The strong survive and the weak get phased out, dominated, or replaced, or compartmentalized and used. Okay? So be strong, guys, whatever that means. When you're a strong person in character, in spirit, let's talk about Pluto Sun for a second. When you're a strong person in character, you do great things with your strength. When you're a weak person in character, you'll do cruel things when given power. Okay? So that's just something to think about, guys. Strong people do need more power because they will protect the world with it. You give weak people power, they use it to corrupt and destroy and dominate and abuse others. Okay? So you can't save the world from a place of weakness. You have to get better. And I talked a lot about this last time, guys. Self-improvement is not meant to be approached from negativity, from a place of non-acceptance. You improve yourself because you love yourself, because you love life, because you love the world, because you serve the world better by being a more evolved version of yourself, guys. So I'm telling you, with this sun opposing Pluto at the beginning of this week, we had a pretty intense week last week, guys. But if you didn't get the message, this week will not be advantageous for you. So I'm just going to repeat the message of last time, guys. You got to commit to evolving yourself. You have to commit to growing. It's a simple message, guys. And the way it plays out literally is different every single day. And this is meant to uplift you. It's meant to inspire you. It's meant to give you purpose and happiness as well, and joy. Commit to yourself. And this is an ongoing process, mind you. You can't commit to yourself one time and just be good forever. And yesterday's commitment doesn't matter today. Okay? Every day, show up for yourself. What does that mean to you? You know, demonstrate it through your action, okay, guys? And the more you pour into you, the more enriched and special and becoming your life is, the better everybody benefits from your existence, guys. And just remember you're special as you're building a life. Because I know some people, they may not feel like they or their life or their circumstance is that special. But I'm telling you, the more you get to pay attention to you and the environment and the place you live and just extend your vision, the more you're able to see that your life does serve a higher purpose. And that's a really beautiful thing to behold. Okay. Apart from this, we're about to go day by day. I just want to kind of mention once more Aries stellium, guys. And this is where all this stuff is coming from, is that Aries is the first sign. It reflects the new beginning of the zodiac and even the evolutionary force. So it's all about us. And I don't mean us like Aquarius. I mean me and you, like Aries, like me personally, and then you personally, all about the individual. This is about creative self-actualization, pioneering new expression. This could even be a rebirth of the self, guys. You know, Eris going retrograde. This is a pretty interesting phenomenon because this will be a pretty long retrograde. It's going to be all week. And we've got Chiron going retrograde at the same spot. Oh my goodness, I just animated the chart. Let me go back to July. Okay. I just want month at a time. Okay, boom. So I think this week, with Chiron going retrograde and Eris being retrograde as well, is really about healing our energy. It's about healing our identity. And life force is a very big key word pair. Life force, the direction of our power, the direction of our aggression, our intention. You know, and this asks us when Chiron and Eris are retrograde, what are we fighting for? You know? And is it working? This reflects our goals. What is it that we want, guys? And if you don't see anything externally in the world that you want to fix, it's always you that needs to be developed. Okay. And I'm not trying to push this like hyper industrial narrative, by the way, guys, about just like always produce, always improve. But if you're not improving, what are you doing in your life? You know, life is constant growth. And this is just something that scares people to look at. And I'm just going to talk about it, guys. If you're not evolving, you're regressing. It can't be both, guys. Life does happen in a process of expansion and contraction. We covered a little bit with Jupiter, Saturn, but just understand that, you know, as long as you live, you're always going to be growing until you die. Truly. Even though the physical body might not always be getting bigger and stronger at every point of the life, you know, you're going to be gaining something on a mental or a spiritual level or a emotional level. The growing never stops. So that's the beauty, is that every day you become a different person. You have the integration, the consolidation of every experience prior, guys. So I'm not telling you that you got to like up your batting average every day. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that like through devotion to life, through embracing yourself, the life that you're given, seeing things as good on some level, you'll be able to meet life and yourself with full presence and conscious awareness. Okay. And then what you do throughout the day, that'll be a reflection of your vision, your goals, your intentions. Okay. The way that you want to spend your life. Mind you, guys, we're not all meant to live the same way. Life, the universe, God, divinity, whatever you want to call it, it wouldn't benefit if we were all the same way. And that's the spirit of Leo, is that it's all about you doing you. Okay. Because when you do you, you help others do themselves. Okay. And you really send power to the individual, which is really this Aquarius Pluto spirit. Okay. So on the opposite side, I know I talked about this at the beginning of the video, but I just want to make sure all the points are hit before we start moving into the planets in Leo, moving to Virgo Mercury. But South Node is in Libra, Lilith is in Libra. And what this basically means is that what we're going to be releasing and letting go of is lies and vanity. I mean, lies are pretty self-explanatory. Like when you consciously choose not to tell the truth, that's considered a lie. When you create falsehoods, when you use your communication, either internally or externally, to describe life the way that it isn't, that's a lie. That creates illusions. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to determine whether that's actually going to be helpful across the board or not. By and large, it actually hurts the world and it confuses others and it confuses ourselves. And, you know, a couple things, guys. When you lie, not only are you disrespecting your power to create or hurting and manipulating other people, sometimes, a lot of the times, really. I know there's the conversation of white lies. Let's just save that, man, because that's a little bit nuanced. But not only are you hurting people through lying, manipulating, you're disrespecting your power of creation. And that just means that the universe has to correspond with your lies. All right. And if the universe wants to grow in a healthy and productive way, it needs good, loving energy, guys. So lies just complicate the reality we live in and create strife. And also, if your message to yourself is deliberately skewed, how the fuck is the universe going to hear your true intentions? if you have to hide from yourself or hide reality or reframe things to meet your desires and perceptions. Like Leo is telling you that we're all special, but if we aren't responsible enough to meet the world where it is, we become egotistical and blind and try to make the world meet us for who the fuck we are. And this might sound like a paradox, guys, but this is really like a Pluto Sun thing. I don't mean to be, back and forth, but this is the principle of polarity. While you do matter and your life has intrinsic value and does add meaning and complexity to the world, you got to remember you're not special. There's billions of people. When you die, give it a couple months, people will stop talking about you for real. The Queen of England died like last year. Do we talk about her anymore? Like barely. Most people forgot about that shit. And I'm not saying this to take all the wind out of your sails, but just to remind you guys that, life is existential and deep, and it is very complex. And the evolutionary journey of your soul is meant to be considered, because you can lose and find yourself a million times on the hero's journey, developing the ego, the character, and your identity and the actions of your career and your endeavors. But ultimately, there's something to be said about, why am I here? What do I come here for? Okay. So let your role adjust in order to make sure that you actually get the most out of your life. All right. What I'm saying is, like, not everybody needs to be Donald Trump or the president of the United States, or, a rock star. If that's something that calls to you, if that's actually what burns in your spirit, if you feel like is your destiny, more power to you guys. But this is the message of Pluto Sun opposition, is that, you got to play your role, man, because it is bigger than you. And sometimes you got to let life put some change upon you so you know where the role is for you. All right, guys. And I also just kind of feel like for some people after this week, where we start off with the Pluto Sun thing, that, some are going to have definition added to their purpose. Some people are going to have definition taken away. This is a rebirth of self, and that doesn't always feel the most fun. Like for me personally, I was feeling pretty shitty before the opposition. So like I feel recharged, I feel reborn, but I know that the exact opposite could happen, where some people might feel like, damn, where did my spirit go? Where did my energy go? And what am I supposed to do right now? What you're supposed to do is be patient. You're supposed to just take it a day at a time and really just connect with yourself, guys. That's the whole message. And that won't change through the course of the month with Leo, but we will find some interesting aspects along the way. So let's take the moon into consideration and go day by day through the chart and just kind of see what happens, starting with Tuesday. So this is today, and it's a beautiful day with the moon in Pisces, and we got the moon square Mars right now. So basically, I just take that as like feeling powerful, feeling charged up, or feeling maybe aggressive and irritable for some people. Some motherfuckers be horny as hell with the moon Mars square, and take a cold shower or slay the beast, do whatever you need to do, man. What else? Moving on, man. The moon in Pisces is going to be here for like 2 to 3 days. The moon takes 2 to 3 days to switch signs. So for Tuesday, for Wednesday, we are going to have the moon in Pisces. And the moon in Pisces is a beautiful energy, especially with this Leo sun. It's really going to call us to be inspired, to create, to escape for some guys, because this is one of the most emotional signs that we have. And I think that Wednesday will probably be a little bit more emotional than Tuesday, but just make sure that you have certain activities with the moon in Pisces that allows you to transcend yourself in a healthy way. And this could look like playing a game or watching a movie or, dancing or getting involved. You may want to spend some time with your friends, but also I find that it's not uncommon for the moon Pisces energy just to want to be by yourself, to want to retreat or just spend time alone, you know? And it's not what you do, it's how you do it. So no matter how you transcend the self, I just encourage you to do this in a healthy, constructive, and positive way. I encourage everybody to stay as far away from self-harm as possible, whatever that means to you, okay? So tomorrow we have the moon in Pisces still, like we talked about, but this is going to move the moon closer to Saturn. All right. So the moon conjunct to Saturn does talk about having a need to organize or maybe even feeling emotionally restricted. This could talk about feeling strong, feeling sovereign, feeling supreme, untouchable, feeling protected. Or, this could be the exact opposite, feeling kind of lonely, feeling weak, feeling depressed. So I think that the best thing you can do with the moon on Wednesday is just to, run through your daily habits and routines. And if you feel a little bit somber or closed off or restricted, take some time to meditate and connect with yourself and, you know, think about expressing yourself through art or maybe watching a movie. Like I said, if this feels too heavy or something, maybe try to take your life and step out of the mundane and the serious to get your head above the water. But alternatively, for some people, this will look like a need to plan and structure. And until you consider your long term goals and really reframe that map, you actually won't feel comfortable. So it's just worth noting that what's going to be the most appealing emotionally is going to be success and future planning on Wednesday. Okay. And then if you want to really look into the next day, which would be Thursday, we will have the moon switch from Pisces to Aries, and that'll be around, noon ish. Depends on your time zone. You got to really look into it. So I would say that Thursday we are going to, and this is also where Mercury is going to move that day. So Thursday, we wake up with the moon in Pisces still, conjunct to Neptune. So very emotional time. Pay attention to your dreams this week, I will say, with that being the alignment, that your spirit speaks to you through symbols and images, and you will need to pay attention to any memories you have upon waking, because if you have them, there's a message for you. All right. And then we move into the moon in Aries. And this is just going to ask us to take action and be inspired and really march to the beat of our own drum. And moon in Aries does add some aggression, some passion, some intensity to the way that we maneuver. So check your temper, check your ego on that day. And also just watch out for other people when it comes to the moon in Aries. This will be kind of the theme for the rest of the week. And this will bring us into hold up. Yeah, we're going to get into the quarter moon pretty soon after this, but in addition, check out that we have Mercury moving into Virgo, guys. So our mental life is going to change this week. Everything is going to be a little bit different. So what I want to really illustrate here, guys, is that we're going from Leo to Virgo. And with us having the Leo stellium at the beginning of the week, which is Sun and Venus and Mercury, this is giving us a clear window, like maybe even a mirror, I would say, to be able to see and view the self and being able to appreciate and acknowledge who we are, slash what we need, what we're interested in. All right. And then Virgo Mercury is actually where Mercury's home. This is a great place. This is about being more narrow in our focus and more specific and critical in the way that we appraise ourselves in life. And that's amazing. It's very technical in its considerations. It's very productive. It's very analytical. But at the same time, this can be a far shot away from fun, fulfilling, and happy. Okay. Virgo Mercury is the feminine side of Mercury. So this is about internally wanting to adapt and change. This is the focus of self-improvement. And it's not what you fucking do, guys. It's how you do it that makes a world of a difference. Because, all things being equal, we could take two people in the gym, guys, doing the same exact sets, the same exact exercises, but one person could deeply hate themselves. All right. So they're in the gym, they're doing the bench press, they're working out because fuck, my body's disgusting and I'm a terrible person and I need to be better. Or you could have the same exact person with the same meal plan, same reps, same exact set, but they're like, I actually enjoy myself. I love myself. In this gym exercise, this is an investment in myself. It's self-care. Same exact input, different output, because the mental input wasn't the same. The emotional input was not the same. So this is asking us to really reflect, what is it that we're doing and why are we doing it too? Why the hell are we doing it? Okay. So I'm just saying, guys, if you're hearing this before Thursday, make sure that you take some time to really assess your true needs before Mercury switches and we just start trying to add more fucking pressure. Because that's what this is going to do, guys. If you took nothing from this, let me simplify and say This is the one thing I want you to take from this, guys, is that you have to put pressure on a system and don't put it on your damn self. Because you put pressure on yourself, you're just gonna collapse. And that's as far as it goes. All right. And I will also say I touched on this a little bit last week, and we're breaking out of the Uranus Mercury square. So this looks like high intellect, a lot of dynamic tension within the mind, fast changes, breakthroughs are happening in people's mental life, and inspired conversations. These are really important. And it's just vitally important, especially as we're leaving Leo Mercury, that you say what you fucking mean and you mean what you say, and don't say things that you think other people just want to hear from you. Say what the fuck you believe and tell the truth so people can actually benefit from knowing you and meet you halfway. Okay. And this is deeper than other people, guys. It's also your conversation to yourself, which we talked about. Like, if you lie to you, you can't hear you. The worst skill to get good at is lying to yourself. Okay. So just don't do that. Just be real with yourself and watch out for that. Okay. So day by day, let's keep going. So Friday's a good day. Friday, we're going to have the moon in Aries all day. And this is also going to be where Chiron is going to go stationary retrograde. And Chiron is the wounded healer, guys. So I will just say that there's a lot to say about this one, man. The moon conjunct Chiron on Friday will kind of bring us into our emotions, bring us into our feelings, and ask us to really adapt if necessary, to look at any part of us that might hold pain or suffering and address it. This could also accelerate our healing journey, our healing gifts, ask us to serve the world a little bit better. And I think that's a beautiful thing to consider as well. So Saturday is our quarter moon phase, guys, and this is when the moon moves into Taurus. So the moon loves to be in Taurus. So this is going to be a chill day. It's going to be comfortable, but at the same time, there is a square with the moon and the sun, the quarter phase, last quarter. So this just means, a deeper release and kind of forced disintegration as we move into the new moon phase in Leo on August 8th. We are going to have to make space for this new energy within our character and identity. And that's just what this cycle is about. So are there any changes that need to be made to yourself personally? Are there any, titles that you want to shed / adopt? Are there any activities that you need to X out? Bad habits that need removed? Are there endeavors that you're neglecting that need to be pursued? That's what this is really about, guys. And Taurus is the need. So that's just going to be something to be considered, is that, Saturday kind of strikes me as a good reflective time at the end of the week to really ask yourself, how did I do this week, and how are my goals looking, and am I on track? Do I have goals? Where the fuck am I going in my life? Because I can certainly get there as long as I really take the action. As long as I make the vision, then we can have a plan. All right. So, Chiron going retrograde, though, guys, I do want to illustrate that this will talk about uncovering wounds that have been hidden. And, this is something I like to substantiate every claim I make, but this is something I could use a lot of empirical logic with. But I think a bit of this comes intuitively, guys, is that Chiron retrograde is going to be a redistribution of karma on some level. And karma is a causal factor. It's cause and effect. It's really the action reaction process in life. And, Chiron reflects wounds, like we just talked about. And if you've been dealing with wounds and nursing them, Chiron retrograde should theoretically help you be able to integrate your pain and turn it into strength. But I've also received intuitively that some of the people that have been hurting others, fucking up this world, are about to get their shit rocked. I'm talking the buck stops here. Some people are about to be slapped like mosquitoes by the divine. You know how fast the mosquito dies when you smack it? Watch what happens to some of these awful fucking people. Okay. I wish peace on the whole entire world, man. But I'm just saying, this is just reciprocity. We just be getting what we give. Some people, evil is hard to define, and so is good. But I'm just telling you guys, the universe is in balance. It always is. That's just how it operates mechanically. So, I'm seeing karma coming for those that need to pay the piper with this Chiron retrograde. And on another note, keep your eyes on the road, keep your hands to yourself, and consider shutting the fuck up. All right. respectfully, that just kind of what I'm seeing is just let the dust fall where it may and just try to avoid the fuckery with Chiron retrograde. Be a part of the solution. Don't be a part of the problem. Focus on healing yourself and focus on sharing integration with the world. All right. And don't be a part of the problem. All right. And then Sunday, we also got our moon in Taurus. So it should be a little more chill than the quarter moon. But Sunday, we're gonna have the moon square Venus. And what that really looks like is a need to connect, a need for love, a need for fun. I don't mean to jump back and forth, guys, but Saturday the moon is gonna be afflicted. Not only is it gonna be square the sun, it'll be square to Pluto. So we got that Hades moon, guys. So Saturday, it may be a more emotionally intense day, is what I'm seeing. So it's really important that on Saturday that you fucking meditate, that you take some time to connect with you beyond, assessing goals and things of that nature. This is about actually building some structure in your emotional world, like emotional rebirth. I don't think there's such thing as a bad day. Even on the days where I feel like a negative 12 out of 10 and I cry the most and I've had things that hurt me, those are still good days, guys. But I just want to illustrate that this Saturday is going to be a good day, but the waves could be choppy. All right. So just be aware of that ahead of time. On Sunday, we again got that moon in Taurus going a little bit closer to Uranus, and it should hit Uranus the next day on Monday. But yeah, moon, the major aspect is that later in the day, we'll have the moon square Venus. Let's go hour by hour. So that'll be like kind of in the middle of the night, Monday night, Saturday night, Monday morning ish. All right. So let yourself love and let yourself be loved when it comes to this moon. On Monday, we are going to be waking up with the moon conjunct to Uranus. So Monday also feels kind of charged up, and there may be a baseline level of instability coming as well, guys. So I just take that as like fast changes are coming, things are accelerating, things are picking up speed. You'll even see the moon move into Gemini at the in the evening on Monday, and that's going to move us really close to Mars and then Jupiter the next day. So I just take it that this is a fast week with Mars and Gemini and with Mercury moving signs and us moving towards the new moon phase. We are going to be shedding things out and letting go of any weight and resistance that holds us back, guys. We have the North Node in Chiron and Eris pointing us towards more self-development and improvement. Leo is asking us to really express ourselves and create something that's beautiful. Whether that's our identity or our projects in this world, this is really asking us to dig deeper in ourselves and bring forth from what's within. Okay. I think that's really beautiful. And every day is what we make it. So just take your time. And I really encourage you guys to study your natal chart and then find a way to check your transits. You can join Simplified Astrology if you want the rundown and the lessons laid out for you, but it's a lifelong study of self-discovery. So just make sure that you get your tools and that you start chopping the wood and carrying the water. Okay. Because while this is an honor and a privilege, and I love doing these videos for you guys, it's going to hit 10 times harder if you know where Leo is in your chart. And if you know where your sun is and where your Pluto is and where your Mercury is and all the aspects and the ingresses and the progressions and all that stuff, it's going to actually paint the picture in real time because we all have a different clock. We all have a different time, a different rhythm, and a different reason for being, okay? And that's what makes life special. That's what makes you special and unique, is that the complexity of you adds to the complexity and significance of all of life. And that comes from my Uranus and Aquarius, guys. I love the fuck out of you. If you enjoyed this video, please do consider leaving a like or leaving me a comment, interacting with this in some way, shape, or form. I also wanted to say, guys, I do have a discount on natal chart readings for July. So if you haven't yet had your chart interpreted by me and you want me to, definitely make sure you can get a spot on the list as I'm doing this. Link is in the bio as well. I'd love to help you out. Love to give you a second set of eyes and opinion and walk you through the placements. That's about all I got for you guys. Blessed be, blessed we. Take it easy.